Now, if we talk about the future of the US, some people would say the future of the US looks very bleak and it looks very sad and it looks very not so great. Other people, a few people, say that the future is great for the US. So let's just talk about this in a video because when I sit around and I think of the future of the US, I just like to look at 5 years ago and how easy things were 5 years ago, how easy things were 10 years ago. And it just makes me wonder, how hard will things be in the next 5 to 10 years, okay? So first off, one big problem I see that we are having, and this has been a problem since the 90s, I would say, is the high cost of housing and the high cost of rent. This is becoming a problem, okay? Housing costs are so expensive now that you have young kids that would normally grow up, be raised in a home, and they would do things like cut the grass and, ride their bike around the neighborhood because they lived in like a house. Now you have a lot of kids that are growing up living in houses that are rented or apartments that are rented. And when you rent something, you don't have ownership over this thing. So if something breaks, you're just going to call someone else to fix it. However, when you own something, you take more care of it because if something breaks, you have to fix it. Also, when you own a house or you own a property in a certain area, you find yourself more into the local affairs, right? You find out things that are going on in your community that you don't like. Maybe you go to city council meetings. Maybe you're more vocal about the things that happen in your community because you own something in the community. We are now raising a generation of young people where renting is like okay. And there's a lot of problems with renting. There is no ownership. When you own something and you live there for 30 years and you want to move, well, you can move and you can have something to sell. When you rent for 30 years, you walk away, you have nothing to show for it. You've lived there for 30 years and you're just walking away. Now, on the flip side, renting can be a good thing, okay? If a person likes to move around often, if you are staying in a place for like less than 3 years, renting would probably be a lot better than buying, just because when you're buying, there's closing costs. You got to put money down, you got to sell the house. Like there's a lot more hoops you would have to jump through, but we have a generation of young kids that don't own houses and don't want to own houses. And it's not exactly that they just don't want to own houses. Housing is just too freaking expensive. Like if you just look at California in general, I mean, how are most young people, and when I say young people, I'm talking about people 25, right? Right after college, 30. How are they able to freaking afford a place when a place is like $600,000, $800,000? And then on top of that, you have, the cost of just the cost of having the house. You have property tax, you have homeowners insurance, you have just upkeep and maintenance. In so many places around the US, especially like a place like San Francisco, you could rent an apartment and it would be way cheaper than buying. Like way cheaper than buying. Usually that's not the case in most places around the US. Like where I'm from, Memphis, Tennessee, typically buying is cheaper than renting. If you go and buy something there, yeah, you do have to come up with a down payment, but buying usually would be cheaper than renting. And also in a place like Memphis, my hometown, there's no such thing as rent control like there is in San Francisco. If a building is built, if it's built before 78, it is considered grandfathered in the rent control, so they can't just jack up the rent like crazy. I think they can only raise the rent like 1 or 2% per year. However, rent control is very common in a place like San Francisco and also in a city like New York. But most places around the US, rent control is just not a thing, just because most people own houses. So like they don't really need rent control. But as the price of rent continues to go up, this is just going to squeeze people more and more and more. Just in the past 6 years, since 2020, or let's just say 2019, I've just noticed the price of so many things just continue to go up. Like the cost of car insurance continues to go up. The cost of buying a car continues to go up. I just remember just back in the day, like 20 years ago, you could go to a car dealership, like a Chevy dealership or a Ford dealership, and you could buy a basic car. So what do I mean by a basic car? I'm talking about a car that was basic. Okay, it had the windows that you would roll down yourself. It did not have power seats. It did not have a fancy screen in the middle. It was basically a basic car. When you drove the car, it sounded and it drove like a basic car. Maybe it did not have four-wheel disc brakes. Maybe it only had, drum brakes, or maybe it only had front wheel ABS brakes, but no back wheel ABS brakes. But basically what I'm trying to say is back in the day, you could buy a cheap stripped down car, right? Or you could just buy a $20,000 car or a car less than $20,000. I remember when GM used to have, I think it was the GM Storm, and it would cost like $13,000, right? Like it was a cheap, small car that you can drive. Nowadays, if you look at cheap cars, oh my gosh, they basically like really don't exist. Like the cheapest car at like a Ford or a Chevy dealership is going to be at least $25,000. So in the past 20 years, a lot of cars have changed different safety features. Like nowadays, all cars have to come with a backup camera, which definitely add cost to a car. Now you need a larger screen inside of the dashboard. Now you need to install cameras and sensors on the back bumper. If the back bumper gets into a slight accident, now it's going to cost more to replace the bumper, because now you have these sensors in the bumper. On top of the sensors in the bumper, you have a camera in the bumper. And then this all has to be hooked up. It's all this electrical work now versus 20 years ago, a bumper was just a bumper. Everything is just becoming more expensive. So now you have the basic car that used to be $20,000. Now it's like $30,000. And it could actually be more, because what some dealers do is they just don't buy the basic cars. Like when they have the cars come in, they make sure that they're all nice. They make sure they all have sunroofs, or they all have, Bose surround system, or they just make sure they're all like not the basic models, like the LS or the LTL or the custom models. Like they make them all nice and fancy. So that way when they sell the car, the dealer can make more money off of the car. And then not only is the dealer charging an upsell for the car, because I remember 6 years ago, you would go to a dealership and they would have specials and deals on cars. They would have $3,000 off of this car. Like if you buy this car, you get $3,000 off. Well, those days don't really exist anymore because nowadays they want to inflate the price of a car, and then they want to sell you the most expensive car that they have, and then you have interest rates that they're coming down, but they're not coming down fast enough, right? So you have cars that are way more expensive. You have young kids and young people that just don't want to have a family like we have 20 or 30 years ago, right? You have so many people now that are so individualistic, and they just want to do what they want to do, and it doesn't matter about a relationship, and it doesn't matter about building long-lasting friendships. Like this is a common thing. Like we are a country that is so divisive right now between the Democrats and Republicans and the way that they fight against each other. I must admit, this is getting really scary when it comes to Democrats and Republicans. And right now, Trump is in office, and the left is just having it, bro. Like, they hate the fact that Trump is in office. And Trump, like, this guy has so much freaking power right now. Like, I don't think people even realize, like, how much power that he has as a president. Like, it's kind of insane how much power he has. But what people keep forgetting is things will flip. If you look at the history of every single presidential election, it has always flipped, okay? It has always flipped. It has never been a time where it's been Democrat, 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 Democrat. It's never been a time where it's been Republican, Republican, Republican. It has always flipped. And what is probably going to happen the next election will probably be another Democrat, because that's how it always goes. That's how this game always plays out every single time. Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. And all of these things that Trump is doing right now to go after the left is not going to forget, and they're going to do the same thing when they get back in office. They're just going to go after the right, same exact way. It's just going to be this massive flip. We're going to see things like certain rights that have been taken away under the Trump administration. We're going to see those rights back in full force, and it's just going to be biggest ever. You're going to see companies back promoting these things again. It's crazy how it's just like theater. It's crazy how you can have two sides that hate each other so much, and it's the same country. Like, it's kind of insane. Like, it is. Inflation, okay? Inflation. Things are just getting more and more expensive over time, and jobs are not keeping up with wages, okay? If you are 25 years old, if you're 30 years old, if you're 40 years old, I just want you to remember when you were younger, how much did a meal cost at McDonald's, okay? I remember not too long ago, maybe 15 years ago, you could get a McValue meal for $2.99. So it came with a small drink, I think it was a medium drink, a small fry, and a cheeseburger, and it was $2.99. Today, if you go to McDonald's, there is no McValue meal, right? And a combo is, in San Francisco, a combo could be anywhere from $15 to $18, right? Now, this is a regular size combo. This is not like a McValue size combo. So I'm not exactly comparing apples to oranges here, but I believe they had a McValue combo for like $4.99 for a short amount of time. But just where will the price of food be in 5 to 10 years from now? Like, that's just something to think about. Like, just after the pandemic, I remember the prices in the city just really start to go up, like just at every restaurant. So where will prices be like then? Like, this is a big problem. Like, this can be a big problem, especially if jobs are not like paying any more money, okay? And then we have the big elephant in the room, which is AI, okay? And for years, I've heard a lot of people on the internet, Uber drivers, say that self-driving cars will never take their job. I've heard people say this over and over and over. Like, all over YouTube, all over the internet, I follow multiple influencers that say that self-driving cars will never take their jobs, okay? Well, self-driving cars are taking jobs, all right? They are slowly taking jobs. Just in San Francisco, it is becoming much harder and much harder to make money driving Uber because they're lowering the rates, because more and more people are trying self-driving cars and they like it, they like the experience. And when a lot of people try self-driving cars, they don't really want to go back to a rideshare like Uber and Lyft, because now you got a driver in the car and it's less private, right? You have less control over the car. So you have self-driving cars that are going to replace drivers. And I think a lot of people think that, oh yeah, it's just Uber drivers. They're just going to lose their jobs. It's just Uber drivers. And it's not just Uber drivers that are going to lose their jobs. It's not just taxi drivers. If a lot of y'all don't know, the number one job in America is a driver, okay? A driver. There's so many types of jobs that you have to drive for. There's delivery jobs. There are, police have to drive. I mean, if you are a salesman, you have to drive. Like, there's so many professions where you have to drive every day. And that is the number one job. So since it's the number one job, also driving is a big part of the US economy, all right? It's a huge part of the US economy. You take away human driving and you're going to start to see that the economy is going to start looking very different, okay? Driving, people have to drive their cars. And when you drive your car, you have to do things like you need maintenance, you need mechanics, you need places to park your car, right? So you need the parking lots and the parking attendants. You need, tires and stuff like that. You need auto parts stores, AutoZone, O'Reilly's. You also go to places that is catering to a car, right? So you might go through a drive-in or you might go to a car wash. Like these are all businesses that will be affected if we live in a world where there's more and more self-driving cars. You also have people like attorneys that defend people. You also have people that write tickets, right? You also have insurance companies that sell insurance premiums. Like these are all businesses that are going to be affected, not just Uber drivers or taxi drivers, okay? It's going to be a lot of jobs that are going to be replaced. And just what is going to happen? Like, what are people going to do when this thing happens? Other jobs that are going to be replaced are other AI jobs that don't have anything to do with the car, right? So AI is advancing in an array of areas, right? You have AI advancing in the auto sector, but you also have it advancing in the restaurant sector, right? They're using AI and they're using robots in restaurants, and also they're using AI and robots in factories. And workers are getting laid off because now, let me take that back. Tech workers are getting laid off because now companies can just use AI to write code. And now companies can use AI to do these things that humans once did. So when I say AI is taking jobs, it's taking jobs from all around. Okay, it's not just the driving jobs in the whole driving sector that will probably be 20 to 30% of jobs, and which I don't think this is going to happen overnight, but yeah, that would be a lot of jobs being displaced. And then you also have all the other jobs. You know, even in construction now, they're using AI to build like these 3D printed homes where it would take like 4 people at the site of a house, and then it has this AI printer that is printing the house, and then the electrician comes in and the printer like prints out these spots where like the electrician can come in and just stick the electrical wires in, and the plumber can come in and just stick the plumbing wires in. Like I'm telling you, even construction is changing because of AI. Like this is just nuts. Like where is this going to be in the future? Like where is this going to be in the future? What will our country look like? Okay, because people are so divisive now between, you know, the Democrats and Republicans, between illegal immigrants and people that are not illegal. Like it's so divisive. And then now you're going to have job layoffs that are starting because of AI. You have people, young people that don't own houses, right? So they're relying on rent. Okay, you got inflation going through the roof right now. Everything costs more and more and more. Like people are not buying cars, people are not buying houses. Like, where are things going to be in 5 to 10 years? And then we got AI that's going to take so many jobs away from people. Like, think about it. What are we going to do? Like, what are we going to do? And I know there are people out there that are saying, oh, my job will not be affected by AI. You should probably pay more attention, because it's literally affecting jobs where people thought that AI would never touch. Like I'll tell you another sector that AI is doing really good in is massage therapy, yo. Just think about that, massage therapy. An AI robot that can massage you, okay? That can do it better than a human. If you ask people 5 years ago, do you ever think it's going to be a robot that's giving massages? People would think, oh no, that's 100 years away. No, there's AI robots today that can give you a massage like that. That's an amazing massage that gets better over and over time. It just gets better and better. Now, there's two ways to look at that. There's one way to look at that. You can look at it where like, okay, think about people that get massages today. You may spend $60 on a massage. So since massages cost $60, not as many people get massages, right? Think about it. How often do you get a massage? Like, put it down in the comments below. Like, how often do you get a massage? Do you get a massage every week? Do you get a massage every month? Do you get a massage every 3 or 4 months? Do you get a massage once a year? Do you get a massage when you're only on vacation? Now, the reason why I don't get a massage often is because massages cost $60. Now, maybe I get a massage once a month with ClassPass, but once again, a massage is like $60. If I could go to a AI massage that was $30, maybe I would get more massages just because it's cheaper, right? And if I would get more massages because it's cheaper, if it goes from 60 to 30, I think a lot of other people would do it too. So maybe by AI becoming a massage therapist, maybe the whole massage therapist business could greatly expand because now more people can have access to it versus when it's $60 from a human. So this is one way to look at it. Like I don't think it's all bad and I don't think it's all a bad thing that AI is getting into things like massage therapy. I actually think it's a really good thing because I was watching some of these videos about how this AI massage therapy work, and what they were talking about, or they were saying like it learns your body and it gets better over time, and there's like certain parts of my body, like the glutes, right, that I would love for someone to work on for like an hour, but like I'm just not gonna go to a massage therapist and say, hey, look, or rub my butt for an hour, right? But if it was an AI machine, like for real, like I would sit there and like I would have it like do it from like my lower back to like my hamstrings like for an hour, right? Because I think that would feel great, right? So I think like having AI take over some things maybe not necessarily be a bad thing, especially if it's cheaper, especially if it's a lot cheaper. For an AI robot like that to do a massage therapy work, I think that if it was $15, like that would be a really good price. Like that'd be a really good price. But last time I checked, that whole AI robot was about $60 an hour for a massage, which is comparable to a human massage. And if I had to pick right now between a human massage for $60 or a AI massage for $60, I think I would almost rather pick the human just because like it's almost the same price, you know? But if the AI one was much cheaper, like $30, like $20, like $15, I think I would pick the AI one every time. And I also think a lot of other people would too, because at those prices, you're literally opening up the market like to many more people to afford that product. It's just like when Tesla used to sell cars for $80,000, and then they came out with like the Model Y, which was 60, and then they came out with the Model 3, which was 30. Every time they brought out a cheaper car, they opened up their market to more people that could afford that car. So I think it's great. But I don't know, where is things going? Like, gosh, people are so divisive right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. I sure hope we make it through it. I sure hope we make it through it. Sure hope we make it through it. What do you guys think about this? Let me know down in the comments below. What do y'all think? What do y'all think will be? What do y'all think things will be like in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years? Do you think we're still going to be fighting back and forth, Democrats and Republicans? Do you think a McDonald's combo will be $30? Will an average car cost $50,000? Because I think the average car now is like $40,000. So, I mean, will the average home price be $800,000? But like, where do y'all think prices will be in the next 10 years? Like, let me know down in the comments below. Like, I would love to know what y'all have to say about this. But for now, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I can't believe I've been yapping for like this long. But anyway, we out. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and peace out, y'all.